Hey, yes, welcome back, everybody, once again to Tips from the Server Room. This is episode number 150 for December the 4th, 2019. I'm your host, Jack, and I'm going to help guide you into, through, and back out of the worlds of systems administration, network administrations, and all fields of IT. Please check out my website if you get a chance, and I hope you do. Check it out at tipsfromtheserverroom.com, where you can comment on these shows. You can also check out jtclearning.com if you want to learn about Windows Server. Right now, it's Windows Server 2012. And I am working on the Windows Server 2019 course. It's going to take a little bit of time to get that together. But, all the same principles apply. So sign up for that course today, and I'm sure you're going to get a lot out of it. We've had a lot of good positive responses back from the JTC Learning site. Also, don't forget to check out jackstechcorner.com. We had a little server crash last week, and I've been rebuilding that site. So if you've been previously signed up to receive the alerts and the emails from that site, please go back and re-sign up again. I hate to ask you that, but I was not able to move over the actual user accounts and everything. So please go back and sign up for that once again. And like I said, I had a server crash, and that stuff happens. We all know that. We live it every day. And believe it or not, even our servers can crash. Tonight's beer, I'm going to hold this up to you here, see if you can see that, is a Pennsylvania brewing company, and it's a Nut Roll Ale. Nut Roll Ale. And it tastes like a holiday nut roll. It is crazy good. It's very hard to find around here. I don't know how many of these they ship out, but it is a crazy good beer. Yeah, it tastes just like a nut roll. Myself and my wife, every year, can't wait until the holiday season starts to buy that nut roll ale. We'll usually pick up a couple cases. It is a little pricey. I mean, I don't know what you pay for beer normally, but you're talking probably around $47 a case. So, but hey, it's the holidays, so you're going to spend a little bit more for that. So tonight, I have to be honest with you, I don't have a huge podcast for you tonight. I wish I had more for you. I've been so busy at work, and I know you get tired of hearing that, right? We're all busy at work. And if you're not, well, find something to get busy with, because you don't want to be let go. If you're watching the YouTube video here at 42 Technoman, I had a couple people say, "Hey, Jack, I subscribe to you now because your Tips from the Server Room podcast is up on there." And thank you guys very much. And hello to you. I do appreciate that. The camera view is showing behind me here. It is nothing but a mess. And the reason it's a mess is because I'm rebuilding the studio. I got a lot of different things to do here at the studio level to try to get it rebuilt, and we will get it rebuilt and get it set back up properly. But it takes time, and time is what we don't have really anymore. It's really shocking how much less time we have nowadays. Even though we do what I've been working on all day today is automation. We're going to talk about that a little bit, and get these headphones off. I really don't need to listen to myself that much during the podcast. And if I'm not talking to a guest, one of you out there, if you want to be a guest on the show, email me at tipsfromtheserverroom@gmail.com. And I would love to have a co-host. I would love to have somebody work with me on this show and be able to chat, chit-chat back and forth. We will figure out a way to record you. I got more recording gizmos and gadgets here than you can shake a stick at, so I'm sure we can record you. Probably would be through a Skype call, I would imagine, and we can set that up. So anyway, let's talk about what's been happening here with me and with me at work and what's going down. So my company, the boss, the owner, came to me about 2 weeks ago, and he said, "Look, Jack," he said, "I'm thinking about moving the whole entire company." And I said, "Whoa, whoa, 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 my friend, moving the whole company? What are you talking about?" I took the job there because I know the commute is, relatively not that far. I commute about 30 minutes to go to work, 35 on a really bad traffic day. And I'm used to the commute now. I'm used to getting off at 4:30. I'm used to getting home at, 5 or 10 after 5. He says, well, I think I want to move it closer to my house, which happens to be further from my house. And I told him, I said, you know what? I'm new here. I've been here about 7 months now. But if I'm on the board, if I'm on your board, then I would elect to uh, definitely not move. Stay here. But I'm self-centered. We're all self-centered. That's just the way we live. I didn't take a job. I had a couple job offers in downtown Pittsburgh, and the drive into the city is just murderous, and I didn't want to deal with that. So I took a job on this side of the city, which he's still not in the city where he's moving to, but I went up there yesterday to start measuring for the server racks. We have another facility there, and he just wants to put our facility in the upstairs and the other facility in the downstairs. So I went up and started measuring the server rack space to see if I can move my server rack up there. I started looking at what switches I would need. Started looking at the wiring to see what the conduit is. We'll talk about that in a few minutes here. But anyway, I got off work up there. I left up there at 4:30 because I had a couple laptops to work on up there. So at 4:30, I got my car and I drove home, and it took an hour and 15 minutes to get home. Not making me very, very happy or very, very excited. What did make me excited is my boss said, and I, when you hear this, we all need a little pat on our backs. We do. That's just human nature to have a pat on your back and say, hey, you did a good job. And so anyway, I was having a little chit chat with the boss, and he said, look, Jack, he said, we just hired you, and, you're really doing a good job, and I don't want to lose you. So I know we're moving further away from you. He said, I know that's going to be a consideration of you getting another job, and I've only been there 7 months. I hate jumping jobs like that. But he said, if I allow you to work from home, would you be interested in staying with our company? And, I don't know how many days a week he's going to allow me. We still have to negotiate that, but I have a plan. So if I only have to go up there a few days a week, we can work that out. And if it's really, really bad weather and I don't have to leave my house and I can work in my pajamas, that's fine. So now we're going to talk a little bit about, that's my dilemma right now. And, like I said, I don't really want to look for another job. And I know a lot of you out there look for jobs and you try to find your job. I told you when I started this company, folks, I have 6 more years to work and I'm going to retire. And I told him when I started this company, I said, look, I want to retire from your company is my goal. And he's a little bit younger than I am, so I know he'll still be working. And everything looked like it was going to be, leaning that way. Like that would be a great possibility. So, but we're going to talk now a little bit about moving, considerations of moving a company. If you've never moved a company, I've moved a couple. No, let's go back. I've remodeled a couple buildings where I had to have my servers, my switches, and everything out of the building because there was asbestos, and they had to go in and clean the asbestos. So I have an understanding of how to move a company, and and I told him already, I've already got plans starting to be drawn up, such as, first of all, I called the internet provider that's providing internet services to our facility up north. We'll just go up north right now. I'm not going to get too much more into where we're going, but so up north, I talked to the internet provider, and I found out we have 150 meg, up and down. So 150 meg up and down, which sounds pretty good because in our facility we have right now, we have about 50 megs up and down. So is it working? Yeah, it's working out for us okay. But what I'm thinking of, if I'm VPNing in, if I'm working from home, and I have at home here, I have 100 meg up and down. So I think I'm going to have a pretty good connection. It's going to be almost like I'm sitting at my desk anyway. And I told him we can Skype, we use Teams, 100% Microsoft Shop. So we use Teams to chat back and forth. I said, look, you can talk to me all day. The only thing you can't do is walk in, sit by my desk here and chit chat, about stuff if we need to do that. But we can definitely communicate back and forth. So the first thing you have to think about is your internet provider. And the next thing I'm thinking about is a second internet provider because of the third reason why I'm thinking about that. So right now we have a POTS. We have copper phone lines in our building. It's a very old phone system, I know. We do have a PRI line coming in, so we have, I don't know what, I can't remember what a PRI line is, if it's either 14 or 18 extensions or, outside numbers or however that works out. So I told him, I said, look, we're going to have to upgrade the phone system anyway. We don't want them taking those old POTS lines and that old, PBX off the wall and moving all that and that expense. I think that's ridiculous. So we went to look at the new facility and found out that there is no copper. So the copper is out, and that's positive. I'm happy with that. I believe in the IP phone systems. I didn't, 5 years ago, but they are really good today. And I think it'd be really well worth it to go with IP phones. So now we're looking at putting new phone systems in. It looks like we may be using a company called 8x8. That's 8 with the times 8. You can find them in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So just a little plug there. I mean, we had a company come out and said, hey, we use 8x8. And that sounds great. Me personally, if I was selling it through my reselling company and through my MSP, I would probably go with Freedom Voice, and I still have to call them up to see maybe we can do something through my reselling agreement to the company that I'm working with, and we'll see how that actually works out, and or if it will work out. My primary thing is the billing has to come from Freedom Voice and not me, so I don't know if they have something where we can work that out, but that is something that I am currently thinking about. So we do have to get new phone systems. We're worried about some people already that may not want to make that trip because they have like an hour drive to our facility now, and it's another hour from there. So, you're talking maybe an hour and a half to 2 hour ride for them in the car, both ways in and out. So there's just a lot of stuff to think about. We looked today about moving storage. We have no storage at the new facility whatsoever. And we have a storage room probably twice the size of this room here that I'm sitting in. So I don't know where all that stuff's going to go. I mean, it's old documents and paperwork. So I'm sure we can scan it all, but we probably should have started doing that about a year ago because they're talking about moving in like 3 months. So it's going to be a very fast-paced thing now if we do this. So it's something that's going down. It's keeping me extremely busy, but not busy enough where I didn't take on a new task today. So we do these things called email messaging, and we do these bulk emails. I probably told you about that before in this show. We use a program called Group Mail, which whatever mailing, so that doesn't really matter. But it's one of my jobs is to take these spreadsheets, these master spreadsheets, and move these columns around and fill these things in and create a mailing sheet with the email address and the first name and their location code and all this stuff. So sounds pretty boring, right? And it sure in the hell is very boring. It is part of my job. It is the way I bring money into the company. So, and we're not a spamming company, so don't think it's spam. Because if you get one of these from us, I mean, we pay $150 to $200 Amazon gift cards to you for like taking a survey. So it's very much on the up and up. So because when I first started, they said, "Oh, you're gonna do these bulk emails." I said, "Oh, wait, we're a spamming company." I said, "I quit. I'm out of here. Bye bye now." I will not spam people. I think it's rude. I think it's horrible. Bad business practice. But this is not. We have standard people that work with us, and we email these people and say, "Hey, look, here's a new product. It is Nut Roll Ale beer. We want you to try it out. Tell us what you think of the taste, and we'll give you a $50 Amazon gift card." So something like that. But so anyway, I started today of writing macros, and I really don't have to teach it on this particular podcast because I found YouTube videos, about 5,000 of them, on how to create macros. Now, let me tell you, I've been writing VBA code for several years. I love VBA code. I used to do a lot of custom Microsoft Access database front-end work with VBA code. I would write all the code. You would save it out as an exe, and they wouldn't see the ugly Access front end. They would just see the forms. And I used to have a lot of fun doing that. I spent hours and hours doing that. But now I started using macros and VBA code to automate all these processes of building these spreadsheets. And I was really, really enlightened today. I mean, I spent my full 8-hour day doing nothing but programming macros and VBA codes. So at the end of the day, I came home. I told my wife, I said, I need a shot and a beer. And she said, why? Did you have a bad day? I said, no, just the absolute opposite. Did you ever have one of those days at work when you go to work and you come home, you thought, I really made a big difference today at the company I work for? A big difference. I'm talking taking, like 2 hours worth of work, and now I cut that down to like seconds. I mean, honestly, seconds. I got it down to now where I click a button because I created custom toolbars, a custom ribbon bar in Excel. I put in custom buttons. I connected those to my custom macros, and now those are on my custom. And get this, there's a personal Excel book that's saved, and we'll talk about that maybe next week. I'll talk about that. I'll take some notes at work, and we'll talk about that next week, because it saves it on your computer to a certain place, and you can move that. We're going to see how that works, because with those custom macros I created, I want to move it to another lady's computer that helps me with the spreadsheets. So she'll have point and click automation. She's been cut and pasting my code into a VBA window and then running that code. So this way she'll be able to actually take that code and be able to simply run that code by clicking a button. I showed an example of it today. She was blown away. She's like, Jack, this is totally amazing. And I said, you know what? This is what automation is supposed to be like. We find ways to make things that we do a repetitive task. And these spreadsheets were a pain, just a pain in the ass. I mean, I can't put it a nicer way. Matter of fact, when I first started the company, I may have told you this. And I told my boss this in my 6-month review. I said, 3 days in, I called my wife. I said, I effing quit. I said, I hate this company. I hate this bull crap that I got to do. These Excel spreadsheets and copying and pasting like some kind of secretary on the wall. I was absolutely devastated. I said, I am quitting. She said, now give it some time and it'll be okay. And yeah, she's thinking, you got to keep working. If I quit, I had no more unemployment. I didn't have unemployment anyway because I quit one job to go to another job. And she said, it'll be okay. And now, 7 months down the road, she was right. I mean, usually your wife is, or husband probably is right about your job. And once I was able to sit down, I put some music on, I closed my office door, I just shut the whole world out, and I just sit there and concentrate and write VBA code and automate my processes. It's getting a lot better. It's getting a lot better. And I have a couple more areas to fix up probably tomorrow. So like I said, by next week, I'll have more to report on that. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Today, I was able to update 2 of our computers. Well, I got 3 of our machines now updated to the new Windows 1909. And you might say, Jack, why in the world would you update to 1909? And I would say to that, well, it's the latest and greatest. Even though we believe, I think somebody told me before, the 03s are like the production, the long maintained versions. The 09s are like the short maintained versions. I don't really care. I'm running 3 machines right now with 1909. My personal machine, if you've been following jackstechcorner.com, look on there. I am on the Insiders program. It updated like 2 weeks ago. And now I have one that says it's not really activated. It's like some kind of demo version of Windows. Don't know what version it is. Actually, I guess I could figure it out because it's written down by the system clock. But I can tell you one thing, it's running. It's running absolutely fine. I have no trouble with it whatsoever. And it's way higher than 1909. It's one of the, and I think I'm on the slow ring. I'm not on the fast ring. If you don't know what the Insider program is, if you go to your Windows updates and you scroll down on the left down the bottom, look for something that says Windows Insider. You can sign up for it. And as Microsoft comes out with new versions, you're like a test dummy. They're going to send it out there to your computer because you signed up. And you can also do it with Office. And, get the trial versions, get the latest, greatest. But I am on what's called the slow ring. So I get the stable releases. If you're on the fast ring, you get every release. So be very careful with that. Don't put that on one of your production machines. Oh, wait. Mine is on my production machine, and so far, so good. Knock on wood. It's hanging in there, so we'll be okay. But anyway, I hope that works out for me. But well, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving out there. I know we did here. We ate an awful lot of food, as everybody does for Thanksgiving. And if you don't, in your part of the world, maybe comment back and let me know what you do celebrate. Maybe you don't celebrate anything, right? It's Thanksgiving. It's kind of a United States thing, I guess, because of the whole, the whole pilgrim thing and the Indian thing and the festive whatever and the turkey and whatever. So you get my drift. But anyway, I try to get this iPad back up here so I can get my Boss Jock back up. And if you don't know what Boss Jock is, if you're a podcaster, if not a podcaster, it allows you to load up all these sound clips, and I can run these sound clips just by hitting a button, and it puts it right into the soundtrack. I don't have to dub it in anymore like I did with the USB mic, which is not a big deal either. I mean, it's not that bad of a deal. So, all right. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I was just texted that dinner is done. That is very, very important. So, if you buy anything from Amazon this holiday season, please use my Amazon link. And a lot of you are. I mean, I've been getting a lot of responses back. I've been getting a lot of little tidbits back from Amazon, and I do appreciate that because all of your hard work and proceeds helps the show out. I still have more equipment that I want to buy here, and I'm sure we can work something out there. But go to tipsfromtheserveroom.com, put the stuff in your shopping cart, go there, click on my link, and then go check out. And then proceeds will come back at that point. So, but thanks for watching the videos here. Once again, this podcast is on YouTube at 42 Technoman, or I believe if you search for Jack's Tech Corner, you will find it. My channel at one point was so popular that somebody actually started spoofing some videos off of it. So don't watch those. If it's like me cussing or something, that's not me. So don't watch those. But they spoofed the videos, and I was really, really, really upset about that. But then again, I guess I have to feel that my channel was popular enough where somebody decided to build their content off of my content. So I probably should feel honored about that in a weird sort of way. So, but thank you very much for watching. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube videos, please click the subscribe button. And if you're not downloading the podcast or subscribed to it, please subscribe to the podcast. And I will talk to you next week. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody. Have a safe and happy rest of the work week. And we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye for now.